Fresh Eyes Fast Talk. Welcome to our very first episode. I am Critical Eeks. Joining me, as precious always, is, of course, the talent of the show himself, Valedore.
Are we going to talk about the radio DJ intro you just did?
Oh, we're going to talk about it. So, today we're going over Secret Level, Season 1, Episode 1. And
this is the first episode and the first one we recorded.
Totally, not the second time we're doing this.
What's that, Necronomicon? They're liars. They're goddamn liars.
You shut that book up. Don't you sell us out, you piece of shit.
So do you want to explain what happens? Or?
So the point of the show is we're trying to watch things for the first time and then share right thereafter what our feelings are as we go step by step through them. We have
hence the title.
Fresh Eyes, Fast Talk. But the first time we did it, my microphone was too loud. So we are going back over it, which sucks because this particular episode, we don't hate all of them. This one is bad.
It is a failure.
It is a massive failure.
It's not good. It is not good.
Nope.
I put off fucking doing this because I didn't want to fucking sit through it again.
Yep.
Because I watched it. That was like I think my third or fourth watch through because I watched it once organically before we had the idea.
Yep.
And then I watched it again with you.
Yep. And inherently,
and then now this is like number 3 of just having to see these nothing characters,
right,
that have nothing to fucking do with D&D, nothing their way through a nothing world.
Yep. And to wit, each of these episodes takes place in a video game universe, or in this case, board game universe.
Now you can argue I mean, there have been Dungeons and Dragons video games.
Sure, yeah, but this particular one we'll get into it about what makes it not specific to Dungeons and Dragons and how they don't do a good job of exemplifying the universe they're in.
I think that's an important thing to consider in all of these. It's like, I mean, in the episodes where we don't know the game or the source material, it's harder to judge this. But like representation of the thing you're representing in the medium.
Yep.
Where it's like seeing this, I should see iconic D&D spells, iconic D&D creatures.
Yep. Archetypes of characters.
Iconic moments, like parties getting sidetracked or a chaos goblin in your party that just is fucking shit up for no reason.
Yep. A bard trying to seduce everything around him. These classic staples and tropes.
They never do the murder hobo story. Show the literal repercussions of what most parties turn into, which are fucking murder hobos.
Yep.
Where it's like just do it from the other. That would have been the smart person. Is do it from the fucking in-world people's perspective of this magical group of people that has just been killing and taking shit.
Yeah, and as you suggested this before, but. One of the most iconic, if you're not familiar with tabletop RPGs, one of the most iconic ways to start a campaign is in a tavern with your classic barmaid or, barkeep washing the glass with the rag. It
is one of the most easy justifications for a narrative begin because it's a reason for everyone to be there. Yep. You can get information from other people there. And you can also establish how well known everyone is in that area and what people are about.
But that's not what they did here. What they tried to do
there's no tavern.
Nope, it's just generic fantasy swill. So
can you pull up the synapse?
Alrighty.
Because this is where we should start. Because you don't know what this party is doing unless you read the episode preview.
I'm not sure exactly where that is at.
It's just be on on your episode list, man.
Mine's pulled. Yeah, I've got the episode itself pulled up right now.
Back out of it.
Okay.
I mean, if I have to do it, my camera cuts, man.
No, it's fine. I'll do it. It's fine.
This is important. I didn't know this was going to be a thing.
Yeah, okay. Getting it pulled up here. I have the synopsis for the show itself. Episodes explore related details. Okay, so here we go. On the hunt for a dragon cult, a band of adventurers rescues a boy who's haunted by a sinister force.
Okay, the important part is it establishes what they were doing when like out here, which you don't get in the episode itself. It never we're about to go through the episode scene by scene, but it never brings up the fact that this is what they were doing.
Yep.
And the only way to get this information is by going to the episode details, which are apparently hard to find.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I had to go, as you've just seen, I had to go looking for it, and I had the advice of someone that's seen them. And this is something we've run into before. These are short stories, and so all of them are being judged by that same metric of, okay, you only have 10 minutes to tell the story. You've only got X amount of time to get into it. You need to cover everything. You need to cover, as we said earlier, the universe that your story takes place in. You need to cover actual basic story beats and just...
You need to make good use of your time. You write a story with the time limit in mind, you commit to what you can accomplish in there, and you do it.
Exactly.
Where it's like you could, some of the episodes commit to spectacle. And it's because they only have so much time, and they're not going to try and bog you down with a bunch of world building and other stuff. It's a lot of speed running, that kind of shit. Where it's you get the thematic elements, you get what's important, and that's it. But this one fails on every front. It's they try to do a character thing with not enough to, no one gets fleshed out. You come away with this not being able to know anything about any of these fucking people.
I said this to you earlier, but it's the more I watch, the less I know about this.
The only character trait in this whole fucking thing is one person likes to burn shit.
Yep. So, anyway, we'll jump right on into this. As always, I have to compliment, since this is our first technical episode, I have to compliment the intro to the show itself. The animation to all of these is impressive, including this one.
Well, it's a nice amount of references up to video game console starts, where it's they kind of combine every single iconic one into one thing, which is a smart. Being what this is, it's such a insightful move.
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
I'm not going to excuse myself. Carry on.
You're good. Nor should
you,
I
know.
my friend. Nor should you. Okay. So we pan down over the night sky to see a couple of people creeping up on a camp below them. They're sort of in the cliffs looking down at it. And in this camp, we see a cage. We then cut to the inside of said cage to find a young boy who is scarred and has runes written all over his face, and he is, as the subtitles tell us, gasping, and he's kind of doing a type of deal, and we're cutting in and out of his hallucinations. Right. Yeah,
he's spazzing out a little bit.
He's spazzing out a little bit as inner voices whisper indistinctly, end quote. The boy's all like, please.
Indistinctly is the theme of this episode.
Whispering indistinctly should be the damn title.
Oh, wait, that is the title of this one.
Boom, pap, boom, pap. You see it here, folks. So he's freaking out a little bit, and he hears rustling behind him. And he kind of tries to peek through the blanket that's over his cage, because it's nighttime for him, so they're trying to get him to fall asleep. And all of a sudden, we see an eye. And,
like a fucking canary.
Right, exactly. It's time for bed. So one of our protagonists, you see their eye. It's very Avatar, by the way, but... we see their eye, and the boy gasps, and outside the cage you hear him say, "It's a human boy." And you hear another character say, "A kid? What's he doing here?" And
already, irate?
yes.
Because that's the gnome that has that one.
Yeah, that's Tally, which I would give you their names, but there are so many characters that they do no service to introducing beyond this point.
Do we get the druid's name?
I'm literally not sure. Luzoom is the one talking now, where he says, "Well, he's in a cage. He's either in trouble or is trouble."
You only know that because of the subtitle.
That's literally it. No one mentions each other's name except for, I think, Tally, who is the fire gnome.
No, you hear Tally's name and you hear the paladin's name, whatever it may be. They're so forgettable, I forgot it.
Exactly. Well, and again, because they have such little time, why have this many people in the party? Why introduce this many protagonists, especially because... we find out later you don't need this many people to win the fight, but we'll get to that.
Well, you could have done it, but you manage it better. You don't you cut to inaction. You Or you get like the fast forwarding. It's like you get the beginning, middle, and end of their adventure. So it's like cut to them in a tavern for the intro, right?
Yep.
All right. Then it's like fast forward to where they would be like in the middle of their campaign, and like if like a 3 months later deal, or whatever. You can just speed run through. There are ways to like accomplish this in the time frame that they have.
Yep. Oh, absolutely.
But it's like again, the characters don't have any traits. It's the only one you can identify as having like any kind of like personality or like character trait is Tally.
Yep.
As you'll see.
So this Lazoom character says he's either in trouble or is trouble, and then this character Mora, whom I don't know who that is, says we have to assume it's the former Lazoom. This is kind of funny, little rhyme there. He says, we're a rescue party now, and then suspenseful music plays. And that, you'll notice, is a motif because throughout these episodes, the subtitles telling us what kind of music is playing is one of my favorite accidental jokes.
For sure.
Suspenseful music playing.
It's the best when you don't agree.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, 100%. So anyway, his inner voices continue to echo, and the boy groans as the party is sort of creeping around the cage. They've been having a full-on conversation with each other, and apparently this has woken up these particular baddies, who we'll find later are unrelated to the other baddies, but Mora, who we only know by name because they have not associated her voice with her face yet. So Mora says, these are hallowed lands of the loyal fury. Sliding out of sheaths, and it says, this is protected by the great Oriole. We offer you one chance to, and then a cultist yells and the fight begins. And I noticed this in this last watch through. This immediately contradicts the synopsis that we just read. Because they're not hunting, they're out here defending their own lands. I guess it's splitting hairs, and there's no need to do that in this episode, because there's plenty of...
I mean, like, devil's advocate there, too. It's like they don't know if they're hunting within their own lands. It's like they could be an insurgency.
That's fair.
Kind of thing,
That's fair.
But, like, I mean, to your point, though, it's just, like, everything's so ambiguous. It's like the way to interpret it. I'll also say this. So, in the next, like, few seconds... I believe the Druid chick turns into a werewolf. That never comes up again.
Yes, I think you're exactly right. So he is looking through his little canary blanket, and he's watching the violence. An arrow goes flying past, and you're right. So as he's watching, it's the orc, who I think you're right is the Druid. The orc shifts into a werewolf, and you see that through the shadows of the blanket, and then he goes taking off and throws a person who then lands on the boy's cage. And the boy is freaking out as he's half hallucinating, and also there's a deadly battle going on outside his cage.
Right, he has no idea who these people are.
Yeah, and this inner voice yells, "It matters not, you are mine." And okay, sure, we get it. You're being dominated by this force. Maybe that's what they're painting. The fact that they continue to choose to use their precious, precious time to show us...
keep reiterating he's possessed.
He's cursed and he's possessed and it's a bad guy that's in there. It's like, okay, we've taken probably 30 seconds of our 2 minutes and 20 seconds to show that.
It could be an affectionate "you are mine," you don't know.
Yeah, right. You're mine. It matters not. So we then
that would have been more interesting.
Yeah, I'd be more into that. Exactly, more of a succubus-esque
like
possession.
I'm really uncomfortable with the voice in my head. Like, it's not evil or anything. It's just, it's real forward with me. Like,
it's the moments it chooses to talk. Like, I was peeing earlier. Hey,
it was quiet the whole day. It waited till I had my dick in my hand.
Right. But that's not the voice we got. The voice we got is sinister, random,
generic bad guy.
Thank you, exactly. You could tell
I'm evil and I'm possibly a demon or something.
I'm possessing you, and also you are mine. So we then cut to the end of the battle, and guess what? Calm music is playing. And we get to see our party in whole for the first time, and they sort of scale up. You see the fire gnome. You see this bald dwarf, who we find out later is kind of a monk class, a lot of unarmed stuff. Then we have one of our, I think, the mainest of protagonists, who is, what do you call him, a dark elf in this? Anyway, so where
Isn't it a lady?
it's a lady, yeah, but like like a blue-skinned elf. I'm not sure what.
I think she's supposed to be orcish. I'm not sure. That's up for debate. She doesn't resemble any of like the actual races well enough to be identifiable.
Right, she's a Dunmer from Morrowind. Dunmer from yeah.
Sure, she does look like a Dunmer.
She does. So she's a
Fair.
kind of our main protagonist. She has the armor to prove it, as it is gold and it is impressive. Next to her is the orc who we saw turn into a werewolf that one time and will never come up again. So the Dunmer, we'll call her, picks up the boy who passes out ever so conveniently. And as she goes walking past the camera, we see a dragon fly by in the sky behind them. As ominous music is playing, we cut to realize that we're seeing them now from above. We've got a wide shot from above, and we're seeing them through a crystal ball. And the camera turns to reveal that this crystal ball is being held by some kind of very clear bad guy, because bad guys grow their nails out and have gross skin.
It is important to know that this has nothing to do with what's going on.
Right, because they say they're hunting dragon cultists.
He just happens to be watching this go down.
Right. Yep, just tuned into the right channel at the right time and realized, well, I'm evil.
He's supposed to be like a lich. He's like some kind of frost lich. And he was just like bored that day. And he's like, oh, guys, quiet down. I think I got something.
Oh, my crystal ball. You never know who's watching.
Because again, they were hunting a dragon cult. They found the dragon, like they found members of the dragon cult. And then it's like, how urgent is this mission? Like, that they can, like, sidetrack, like, are the dragon cult in the middle of a ritual? Was there a reason you're choosing to come after them now? And then, like, as far as you know, this boy just has not fuck all to do with them, and he's just a prisoner.
Yep, exactly. It was just passed out, and they decide they're going to...
For all they know, he's a member being punished.
Right, yeah. They decide they're going to keep him, because that's totally an appropriate thing to do with a child you find in the woods.
Well, it's how urgent is their mission? Because they completely stopped doing whatever the fuck they were doing to take this kid to this guy.
Yep, and happened to simultaneously catch the attention of this seemingly unrelated frost lich, who again is looking with his eyes glowing white, so you know that he's very bad.
There will be more evidence of him being unrelated later, but I will address that when we get there.
Cool. So then we cut to when the child wakes up, and he's gasping. Now, this is an interesting point here. So he's going, who are you? What do you want with me? And he's freaking out a little bit. And we look, we pan from character to character. And everyone's kind of giving him like a normal look, just kind of looking at him with maybe passive concern. But when you see the little fire gnome, she's like, just giving him the death eyes.
Okay, here's another point I brought up before. So this conversation should have already been happening. Yes. Why does she wait until he's awake to address what she's about to address? Like, it doesn't make sense, because it was nighttime. Yep. They've spent all this time just chilling with him unconscious, seemingly getting along fine.
Yep.
Until this kid wakes up and she's like, oh, yeah, right, I have a problem with this, I forgot.
Right, we might as well bring it up right now while this panicking child is freaking out next to us.
Yeah, let's talk about it in front of him. I wanted to make sure he heard me.
Right, exactly. And again, there's no reason why this kid woke up at this particular point. That would have been we talked about this before, that would have been a great way to wake him up, have them arguing. So we wait, the camera is just black, and we hear, what are we doing? We don't have time for this. As you were saying earlier, how urgent is their mission? Why aren't they arguing about that? And that's why this kid wakes up in a half
Right,
panic.
we don't have time to be altruist. We were given a specific thing to do with it, and they're about to pull whatever nefarious act that they're up to that we were set out to stop is just going to be ongoing while we take the time to take care of this fucking kid.
Seemingly random kid. But the protagonist...
Also,
sorry, go ahead.
Why doesn't he pass out every time he gets possessed then?
Narrative convenience. This is a cool way to pass from one scene to another without having to tell too much of a story.
They show him having like that episode, which culminates with him passing out, and then it never comes out. Like again, just like the other days, it never comes up. He never passes out again.
Yep. Contrived unconsciousness, I suppose, is the answer.
Yeah, so that you could fucking hard cut to daytime.
Yeah, exactly. So the Dunmer is trying to calm him down. She says, "Chill out. My name's Mora," so now we know that's her. She said, "You were a prisoner of the cult of the dragon." It's a really generic cult name, but that's cool. How many dragons are there? We'll move on.
We're called Asmoras, you bitch. No,
So he says, we're taking you to Oriel, who's the name they said earlier. These lands belong to Oriel, so that's who they
and
serve.
milk and cookies.
Right, yes, exactly. Yeah, it was a double cream. Anyway, yours was better. We're taking you to Oriel to cure you of your affliction. And at this point, they start to argue. Tally, the little fire gnome, pops up and is like, wow. You don't know he's not one of them. Again, perfectly normal conversation to be having maybe while you're walking away with this kid you just picked up.
Right, that's the shit you would have addressed before now. Is it you wouldn't have waited until he woke up to hear this argument. If he was one of them, that's some magic bullshit he can do.
Right, you mean to tell me that the whole time no one was like, so, what's up with the kid?
They just sat there in fucking silence.
Yep. No one's good.
Until he woke. It's like the refrigerator light. Whenever he's asleep, everyone's gone.
Yes, that's exactly it. Which, for the writer's, purposes, works out very conveniently because then they don't have to tell any kind of realistic story.
Again, the way to have done this and make it work is he wakes up to the middle of the fucking argument.
Yep. Yeah, that all tracks. It follows their motivations. It shows that they have other things that they're doing, but it also demonstrates their protagony for distracting from their mission to save this random kid. But instead, they just now bring it up, which only serves to make them look irresponsible and at best chaotic. Yep.
Right, well, you get this manufactured problem or strife or whatever here.
Yeah.
Where again, so that her and the elf can have a moment later.
Right. Seriously, because she goes, well, he wasn't, and then gets cut off by Tally.
Or dwarf or whatever. Gnome, sorry. Yeah.
I think it's gnome. Yeah, I think it's the shortest of them all.
I think she's a gnome, yeah.
So, cute. I'll give her that. I love gnomes. But she's, Mora's trying to argue with her, says he wasn't one of them, but gets cut off, and she says, how do you know? And,
legitimate question.
Seriously. The kid's going, no. And then she says, Tally says, those tattoos look like somebody ripped him out of, I imagine is the next line, of the book of the book of vile darkness. Another hilarious generic fantasy name. Yes.
I missed that before. Of vile darkness?
Yes, seriously. Well, it's classic Cult of the Dragon, the book of vile darkness.
This makes it... What the book of vile darkness? Are you serious? What's wrong with you? Alright, it's alright, Necro, it's fine.
Again, there's nothing that dictates this being D&D. It is just generic fantasy swill. The book of vile darkness is hilarious.
There's books in D&D that are bad.
Right. Yeah, and how hard would it have been? But again, you could tell that I don't think anyone as a part of this writing team is an actual fan of Dungeons and Dragons.
No, absolutely not, because there's not one iconic thing from it.
Nope.
Not one.
No.
Not one. The only thing is Tiamat, which was probably in the fucking document they got of a guideline. Like, hey, make this have Tiamat in it.
I would argue that there's
had a blank check otherwise.
I would argue that there's not even fantasy fans in the room because none of them are able to call out guys, we're going to get laughed at. You can't call it the book of vile darkness. It's just the book of bad.
I mean, tell me one trait about this world. Tell me one fantastical element. They were in the woods a second ago. Regular-ass looking woods.
Yep. Now
later on, they're going to be in a generic-looking temple.
And that's crazy. We'll get to the world building of that, too. But, so the kid starts to have a freak out. Leave me alone. Oh, freak out. And he is having a little freak out. And Mora tries to chill her out and is like, Tally, leave it. And then the kid says, you're in terrible danger. Might be a good red flag. Might be, maybe.
He validates all of Tally's problems.
Exactly. Right. And then she continues to get in his face, though, which is questionable behaviorism. But are you a cultist, kid? She's kind of thrusting her little baby staff at
right, and it's supposed to be cute and funny because the tough guy is the small one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then the monk, the dwarven monk, he's bald, he's got a big beard, so he's wise, and he says, Tally, the tattoos mark him for sacrifice. Okay, he's a monk, maybe he knows runes. I don't have any real problem with that. In fact, I would say it's some of the best character building they do in this entire episode.
He's wrong.
True. That's a good fucking
the
point.
runes are what gets sucked off of them later.
Exactly, and we'll get to that. So right now they think it's for sacrifice, and so the monk takes a guess and says, "I'd venture they were."
He said that pretty fucking confidently.
He very
like,
much did. He wasn't like, "I
Don't
think."
worry.
He said, "These very clearly mark him for sacrifice," and then he says, "I'd venture they were taking him to the Well of Dragons." Another hilarious generic fantasy bullshit name. It's just these are placeholder
they
names.
They just have a dragon well. They toss me. It's a regular ass well.
We'll call that a working title, but no, they're gonna.
I mean, fuck. Whispering indiscriminately.
The Cult of Dragons, the Well of Dragons, which is where the Cult of the
or
Dragons.
Indeterminable whispering. Excuse me.
Right. So I'd venture to guess they were taking him there. And so Tally rolls her eyes and scoffs and says, "Oh, marvelous." And then Lezoom, who must be that dwarf we were just hearing from, says probably to be sacrificed to Tiamat. Now,
that was your first mention. Buckle up.
Right. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but Tiamat is an actual Dungeons and Dragons presence.
Yeah, they're a legendary character. There's a whole campaign based around him.
Cool. So
It's like-
credit where it's due. This is at least something from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Jim.
He's definitely an iconic. Like it is the only iconography that is from Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep. Which again, we try to be as fair as we can here on Fresh Eyes Fast Talk. We will hate on the things we think are bad, but where things are good, we will admit it. We're not just here to be hatresses. So the kid continues to freak out, and Mora, the Dunmer, end quote, is like, "We're gonna help you." The kid's like, no, stay back, which she probably should have done, because as she gets closer, the kid's like, "She's coming, it's coming," and then grabs her dagger.
So this doesn't work on a bunch of levels.
Yep.
So like if he's seeing a dragon head right now, how the fuck did he know where the sword was? Like it doesn't make sense that he would pull the sword in this situation.
It does.
Because like it's kind of like it cuts to his vision, right? And it's before he even lunges for the sword. He sees she morphs into the dragon head, and it's coming for him. And then he pulls her fucking sword, dagger, or whatever out, and shanks her ass.
Yep.
But he had no reason to be able to see it in that situation.
Yep. And this is like an 8 or 9 inch dagger, and it goes just about to the hilt, all the way in, straight through her useless armor.
Right.
And directly into her body. And this, pretty much indistinguishable voice, whispering takes place. And
we get more generic demon voice.
Exactly. And Lezoom,
I'm still bad.
I'm still here and also bad.
Shut up.
So you see right there, the dagger has pierced her entirely. You can see it come through the back of her. And this is another...
Is it a through and through?
Yes, you can see the backside of the dagger. So this is another one of the biggest problems here, is that at no point in any of this story do we feel like they're in danger. And this is part of it. This
establishes that shit like this is no big deal.
Exactly.
And it happens again later, too.
Tally...
Where it's like injuries just don't matter. They are complaining about not having a healer.
Yep.
And then she just like heals what would be internal organ damage.
Oh yeah.
With like no effort.
Zero effort, just happens in a second too. So she immediately pulls it out. Tally's like, "You're gonna burn, kid." Mora, who just
she's too badass to make a sound.
Right.
She's just like, "No big deal, kid." Shushook.
And even before she heals herself, she stops Tally from burning the kid and says, "Stop," and then actually puts a pot with the dagger still fucking in her. Puts a pot, which apparently she was holding. I guess.
Where did that come from?
Nowhere that comes from, except to be a funny moment, because she puts the pot on Tally's hand and stops the fire, and we hear labored breathing.
But I feel like that wouldn't stop the fire. I feel like that would just burn Tally.
Yeah, right.
I
seriously,
guess she would have to stop it at that point. But it looks like she's extinguishing it.
Yup, and the most pain we see her in is through the subtitles saying labored breathing as she reaches up to the dagger, slowly pulls it out of her through her useless leather armor, gently sets her hand there. We see a golden light, so you know it's magic, and she says, "I've had worse."
It's fine. No big deal.
She literally says, "I've had worse."
Whatever.
The worst is a tear in her armor. That's all this really did. So we're totally fine. She was completely pierced by a dagger a second ago, but now she's in.
This already damages the story further in the same context. It's like now Now, if they get hurt, I'm going to be like, whatever.
No, we're taught immediately to not care. She literally had enough time to be snarky while she was doing it and pull a random pot out of somewhere. So she says, come with me, kid. And this is one of the funniest fucking parts of this whole story. So she goes walking off with the kid and she says, guys, chill out. You know, we just need a minute alone. And Tally says, what we need is a cleric. Foreshadowing.
Why would you say that then?
Directly after her healing herself, that could not be a
worse
worse
also,
time.
You're pissed off. You're mad about him staying still.
What we need is,
that's
a good
hasn't
point.
been resolution for that. You were about to burn him to death, short of a pot being put on your hand.
What we need is a cleric.
And they just immediately, like, oh, and also, what?
Right, yeah, we forgot that thing on our shopping list. It's like, that's not at all what your character should be motivated to say. You should be like, are you fucking serious? You're going to walk over alone with him now? Like, anything.
Right, she should start yelling at the others about what just happened.
Yeah, right. Mora's clearly lost her senses. You guys, we need to take a vote. Mora's not having it.
Like, are you with her on this? Are you fucking serious? You also, like... You know what I mean? Like that shit.
Yep. Seriously. Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, guys. Are we just going to let it? But she walks away.
My delivery was better, too. So.
It genuinely was. Better than a lot of this voice acting. So we see the orc kind of keeping lookout up here. And there's some kind of ward surrounding the camp itself, which we see them...
Ward.
Yeah, we see the two of them walk through. Again, not necessarily directly iconic to Dungeons and Dragons. I know enough about fantasy to know that that's some kind of protective force field. But when it's fantasy, you call it a ward. So they sit down out in the woods, out in the dark woods together, and this is hilarious. She goes, what's your name, child? And he's like, Solon, or whatever. And she says, I think
you're traveling solo. You have no people.
Han Solon. So alone. Hilarious. So she goes...
Like, how do we fuck up an origin story for a name? Like, and that continues. Sorry, we're getting sidetracked.
Right. She goes, I think you didn't mean to hurt me, Salone. And he says, whatever is in you, it's strong. But I can see you are strong too. And then the inner voice, just to remind us that
that is based on nothing. But if anything, all of the displays have been the opposite.
Yeah.
He was overpowered and passed out, and then he almost murdered you.
He tried to. If you weren't...
Where did you see he was strong at? Where did he demonstrate that trait? He has demonstrated panic, fear, and failure.
Yep, and violent outlashes. Like, it's... Seriously. And she says, I think you're strong.
Oh, no,
too.
This gets better. I forgot. Yeah,
oh, yeah.
This is where she says the unrelated
exactly. So the inner voice chimes in, lies, to tell him that he's weak, I guess, just to remind us that the voice is
generic thing to say now, too.
Yep. Oh, dude, and he says it seriously 6 times. And then he pants, and then she puts her hand on his shoulder, and I guess he's able to quell it. And the kid, again, warns her. If we listened to the kid, none of this shit would have happened. But the kid goes, you should listen to the others, dude. Like, just leave me. Like, she just keeps trying to talk sense into her. She said, it'll be easier for all of us. And Mora goes, maybe. And she says, but being easier doesn't make it right. You know, hero stuff. And then gentle music is playing, LOL, as she reaches down to her shield, and she pulls off a piece of her shield, which is like a hand. And she says, I wasn't always
whatever
a paladin.
Whatever the fuck that was for.
Seriously. She goes, I wasn't always a paladin of Torm. She said, most of these scars...
Oh, there's not healing magic, by the way. Don't know why you need a fucking cleric. They're literally party buffers. Continue.
Right, seriously. Yeah, it's like there's... Yeah. So she goes, most of these scars I got from fights that I started.
So you were a piece of shit.
Yep. I very nearly killed innocents before I decided to change. Which, what? Does that mean you injured them horrifically, or like you considered doing it?
The implication here being is she was just gonna serial kill people.
Yeah, she was like a really bad person, and so
like she didn't say I was ordered to kill innocents and I thought about it. It wasn't like it was literally I thought it. That's like someone being like I torture small animals. Like
seriously, yeah, I very nearly killed innocents before I decided to change. And she takes this admission. She says, before I took my oath. And the kid's looking at her like, bitch. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? And she goes, but that person who did those things, man, let me tell you, that's still me. ... That's still me. And she takes all of this weird admission and this, I guess, what do they call it? Trauma dumping or whatever.
Yeah, it's trauma dumping.
She says, now that's who I fight. Every hour of every day. This kid is still just cursed, and melancholy music is playing, of course.
So what she's saying here is that because I was a violent, murderous piece of shit, and now every day I have to struggle not to be that, because I'm still that. It's just like you being possessed, kid.
Yeah,
you know how you hear that demon voice, and I didn't have that, or anyone telling me to do shit, or literally possessing me. I was just an asshole.
You're a child. You're a child who's been tortured.
You just gotta stop stabbing people, man, because I don't do it. Right. You know.
You have a bunch of cursed tattoos. You have a bunch of cursed tattoos on you, and you know how we found you in a cage, and you're a child that's been tortured. That's just like me when I wanted to murder people when I was younger. We're the same guy. For literally
no reason, yeah.
She says, I fight that every day, every hour of every day, and I don't always win. And this kid is, again, just continuing to look at her like, he's just looking at her like, he says nothing. And she says, it reminds me that I'm not alone. Maybe it will help you. And she hands him the hand from the shield. She says, hold on to it till you reach Oriel.
Did you need that for something? Why was that
just immediately detached.
Like you had to have that shield specially made to fit that.
Right, it's just like a piece that she can take off. This is in case I need to give a child a memento. Then all of a sudden,
like a secret launching thingy. It's like she just shoots off the hand and it bitch smacks somebody, because that'd actually be pretty cool. I would like to see that.
It doesn't glow. It doesn't do. Yeah, right. I'd love to see a telekinetic bitch slap hand. Like that would be dope.
But it's not like she identifies it as a talisman. Like this is a magical conduit of holy power, and it'll help taper off this possession and voice you're hearing or anything like that. It's just, this makes me personally feel like I'm not alone. So here you go. Right. Also, it's detachable. Isn't that neat?
Yeah, right. And again, this would be really on the nose, but like, make it glow. If it's supposed to be narratively significant or there's some kind of magical whatever attachment to it.
As far as we know, it's just a piece of steel. It never does anything.
Nope.
We never see it do anything.
Nope.
He holds it at the end while he's casting his little bubble, but it seems irrelevant.
That's literally it, that he's holding it. Again, we don't see it glow then. So anyway, the orc whistles down and cuts off this little heart-to-heart where she's like, I'm just like you, bro. And he goes, they found us.
Samesies.
Now, who are they talking about? If you're going off the context of the story, probably the dragon cultists who had this kid and are probably now looking for him, right? Nope. We look over and we see that it is some kind of Nazgul. What's the thing called? It's like a giant
Lich.
Bat. Well, no.
Oh, Batkin. It's a Batkin.
It's a Badkin.
It's a bat dragon, a Batkin.
Yes, thank you. A Batkin.
But also, like, them saying they're here, like they were expecting this.
Exactly.
Because we literally see this thing, like, is this like a comment, like, have they had scraps with these people before? Because they were hunting for a dragon cult, and now a group of undead are trying to kill them.
Well, and if they have had run-ins with them before, have the bad guy where we took 10 seconds to show how evil he was with the fog and the glowing eyes say, there you are. Or something that implies like, at last I found you again. Anything that tells us that there's some kind of backstory here. But again, there's no reason.
It doesn't make sense. If they were expecting them, why were they just hanging out? There was never a mention of them being like, we need to get going. We've been to town. Or like an alarm thing, like a magical, like somebody's watching us shit. Like, nothing. It was, they were chilling out, and the only reason anything happened is because the kid woke up and stabbed the fucking lady in the chest, or the tummy.
This is like the classic Robot Chicken thing where he's like, who's they? Like, what do you mean they blew it up? Like, who's they? So there's no who's they moment. He immediately assumes they'll know that it's this random party that spotted them through, public access television.
Okay, yeah, no big deal though.
Right.
Sorry.
So that's when intense music starts playing. And the kid goes, you really think it is? Oriel will know how to help me? And Mora smiles at him, gives him like a knowing smile. As we cut to the next scene, it is now daytime as dramatic music is playing. And we came up with a lot of problems with the spatial reasoning in this before. First of all, only 2 of them are on mounts, and yet the whole group is still together. And also, they're like.
I guess the implication there that I didn't think about when I said it never comes up is that the other 2 members are the mounts.
Maybe. Let's see if we watch them change.
It just doesn't show the transformation. Yeah, I could be wrong about that. But
that's reasonable,
my issue with this is it's nighttime when they leave, and now it's daytime.
Yep.
And so they've been literally chasing them all 5. They already weren't very far away from them when they're like, oh, they're here. And so you mean to tell me they've been right behind them,
just outside of arrow range?
Until they got to their...
Right, seriously, just out of arrow range. And then we cut to this ridiculous bridge, which is a giant broadsword, and there's like a hooded stone statue, which is several stories high, immaculately
This is the
carved.
only stylized thing you even get, and again, nothing to just generic fantasy bullshit. How many sword bridges have you walked across in video games?
Right, and who fucking carved? My problem is a lot of this world building is like, who carved this? Was this dragons that did this? Why did they create?
And also, why a sword? Like, what does that even represent here?
Why a sword? Why a humanoid? Like, if this was dragons that did this, why are you, making an icon and a statue out of this, like, seemingly, human priest person? Whatever.
I'll also say this before it gets to it.
Yeah.
Like, detect magic and identify magic are things in D&D. Like, they could have very easily identified what was inside of this kid at any point. If you guys, if you didn't go down that skill tree, you don't possess that spell, you can go somewhere for that. That's also a thing.
Right. But instead they go...
Because clearly the dragon had no idea what the fuck he was doing.
Yep.
Like, you can tell from his reaction later when we get there, it's like he didn't know that, like, what he just took in. He had no idea.
Yeah,
he's
seriously.
like, oh, this thing's pretty mad, huh?
Well, and to your point about them being right there, they're literally just out of arrow range. We cut to them when the arrows are falling at their heels as they're running across this. Actually, no, it's going past them. So they're within archery range here. And they cross the bridge, they get to the end of it as arrows go winging past them. And they don't even show that transition. We don't see one of them turn in. We don't see the mounts turn into people. But you're right. I imagine that's what it is. We've seen them, I guess, not...
Right, they didn't... That's another scene they should have shown. It's where they transform and the other party members board them.
Yeah, and that shows them being together as a party, too. So then Tally starts trying to open the door, and she's doing some weird, like, finger magic thing, and she says, one of them yells, hurry, and she says, quiet, I need to focus, because she has an attitude. So then the orc casts this awesome wind wall thing. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, this is not a Dungeons & Dragons spell, right? This is just
this is not.
Wall of wind.
Again, what I wanted to see is someone that's played on both ends. Is I want to see magic missile. I want to see any iconic spells that are like so cliche in the game that like you're like, oh, like dope. That's
Eldritch Blast.
That's a level 3 Scorch Ray,
right?
Or Ray of Ice or any of that,
right?
But you get like wind barrier, like Naruto spell or whatever, like fucking here.
Yeah, it's something out of Avatar: Last Airbender. Like,
yeah, for sure. It's just like, the fuck are you doing? Again, they're the only D&D thing we've gotten so far is the mention of Tiamat.
Yeah,
but nothing else. You could have called this anything. You could have called this anything.
Yep, any kind of fantasy at all, and it would have not raised any eyebrows.
You couldn't call the Armored Core one anything else.
Yeah, right.
Because it is Armored Core. The Warhammer one is Warhammer.
Yep. Whereas this is just, again, just generic fantasy swill. And so the wind wall blocks off the troops who are chasing them across the bridge. However, the Frost Lich is up on the Bat Dragon thing.
Batkin.
The Batkin. Thank you. Batgon, Batkin. And he raises his staff and he casts 1,000 tiny ice shanks that are falling from the sky.
These are reasonably large.
Yeah, I'd say probably 4 to 6 inches.
Yeah, 6 inches was what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
6 inches. Yeah, I mean, if you need a reference, whip it up. Okay, sorry, carry on.
That's not 6 inches, homie. So they all fall, they start falling down, and a lot of them raise their shields because clearly this is a very, very dangerous spell. And right before it gets to Tally, who's got her back turned because she's trying to open up the giant door.
I think she sees it just in time to be like,
well, no, she turns around because the kid's running at her.
That's what it is. She thinks she's about to like offer or whatever.
Yeah, and she says, "What in the nine hells?" and then grunts as the kid tackles her down and takes. Let me see if I can count these out.
Yeah, count it up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they are, if these are 6 inches long, there is 2 to 3 inches still exposed, hanging out of his back. This kid is toast. He was
hitting all the vital organs. His lungs are hit. His kidneys are hit. Yep. There's a good chance his heart is, like, nailed, too.
Honestly.
Like, if it just came in through the wrong part and, like, went through his rib right
damn near the bottom left one looks like it very well could be right in that sweet, like, Dexter stab zone. And so he tackles her, and then she stands him back up. And, you know, as we said earlier, you couldn't have a more on-the-nose save-the-cat moment. That classic trope where, we're not sure.
We're cool now.
Yeah, we're not sure if he's good or he's bad. Oh, but he saved this cat who needed help, so we know that he's good. As the audience, we can feel comfortable in that assumption.
Well, right, and it's the payoff to their little scuffle in the beginning now. It's because it's to show that she's going to trust him after this because of this moment where he put himself at, again, what risk? Because as you'll say, like they never show him healing. It doesn't ever show anyone healing him. He should be fucking dead.
Yeah.
In the next scene, you see him. He doesn't even have holes in his goddamn shirt.
Nope. She said exactly, and she says, "Mora, get him inside." And then Mora comes and picks him up, literally putting her arm where the icicles are.
She would have driven them in further.
Right. And she runs through the doorway as Tally and the others like make sick ass poses because they're ready to fight. And this is fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons.
And when you'll see the druid has just been letting this shit happen the whole time.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. He's, I guess, focusing, you know, devil's advocate there. He's focusing on his
He's the only one really doing anything.
He's got his wind wall he's focusing on. So then they cut.
I thought it just looked like he cast it and went on about his business.
Right. Well, so then they go running into the temple, Mora and the kid, and the inner voices continue. And he's like, we have to go. We have to leave now. Continuing to be what we'll find is the voice of reason. But Mora is like, bro, it's going to be okay. Remember?
We're failures. Don't worry about it, dude. We're used to fucking all this shit up.
Right,
we'll get worse, kiddo.
We're clearly servants of this Oriole person, but we have no idea anything that would go into, you know, any of the lore or world knowledge. So we cut back to see that this magnificent dragon, which is
hey, credit where credit's due. The animation here is fucking amazing.
It looks incredible.
The dragon looks great.
Yep.
He looks very, very good.
Yep.
All the scales are reflective. He moves as one fluent, flowing body.
Yep.
Clearly a lot of time and love went into this. I find the rest of the design, like even the characters, pretty bland. That mid's the perfect. It's a 5 of anime, but the dragon's definitely an 8 or a 10. Like it's very, very good.
Right, I agree entirely. Yeah, it's fantastic. The lighting is perfect, you know. And she says, "Oriole, this is Solone, because he's so alone." And she says he bears a terrible curse. And the dragon's all like, "Calm yourself, child."
Again, this is where it's like everyone here is like they never knew that this was an odd. They never identified what was in him or anything. Like the dragon doesn't seem to know that this was an option of something that could happen to him. But they were all talking like he's some kind of fucking expert that can solve any problem. They just bring this little time bomb.
Right. And again, the dragon isn't like, "What the fuck? What are you fucking doing here?" He's just like, "Calm yourself, child. You're safe here." So apparently Oriole is like some kind of benign. Yeah, is he? Exactly. And Solon says, "She's getting loud."
Well, you brought up the point before of how did he get in here?
Yes, the door is nowhere near big enough for this giant creature. There's a lot of world building holes here where it's just like, God, at a point, it gets exhausting to poke holes in because it's like, well, how did this giant thing get into this? Did it grow up?
It doesn't look like there's a way to fly out. We don't get like the area of like light where you're like, oh, there's an exit at the top or anything.
Well, this is one of my biggest problems with Arthurian fantasy is like, well, what the hell is this giant creature eating? Like, how is he maintaining all of this, 4 stories worth of muscle mass? It's just like he's thinking.
What does he even do day to day? He seems to just be there.
Yep, and it's the answer is because
there's nothing else in the room. He's a sentient creature that just waits around for people with shit inside of him to suck off.
Yeah, because again, classic Arthuria.
I can phrase that differently.
It's magic. Yeah, right, for little kids to suck on, exactly. So the inner voices are saying a bunch of crazy nonsense, different languages.
Oh, we're bad, you're bad.
Yeah,
stuff.
right. Tusaha, rista, halpluyum, which I would be shocked if that's actually anything. And the kid says to Oriole, Solon says to Oriole, this thing inside me doesn't like you at all. And Oriole chuckles and says, the wicked do tend to fear me.
Like, fucking okay, bud.
Right. Or don't you have a little bit too much hubris for, like, this ancient dragon creature? Aren't you supposed to be, like, wise?
Magical identification is a thing. They could find someone that could tell them exactly what is going on with this kid and why this dragon shouldn't suck him off.
Right. And the kid says, the dragon says to the kid, I will take whatever is inside you and destroy it. And the kid again says, I don't want it to hurt you. And Oriole says, your kindness is precisely what makes you worthy. It's just like, I guess.
What?
I guess, fuck it. Yeah, I
guess it was established when he took all the icicles that wouldn't hurt him anyways, the magical non-damaging icicles.
Right, which literally, again, even the holes in his clothes are healed. There's not even like bloody holes or anything. This kid, they just completely forgot that happened. Because
it'd be one thing if when the paladin picked him up, he glowed for a fucking second, or she's like, "Don't worry, I've got you."
That's all we want.
The gnome said, "Take him inside, for medical attention."
And she just carried him straight to the dragon. And again, all we need is a little glow. She's already shown that. She had just show it. That we've already been taught as the audience. We've already been taught that's what the golden light is. That's healing. So why not just show us? Whoosh? But I think it's because they either had to cut a scene, which is their fault, or they just didn't think about it. They just didn't care, and they forgot, and they moved on.
So even within the cut, there would be nowhere to have done it. It's like you get her, you see her pick him up, you see her traverse the whole tunnel, and then set him down.
Yep. Seriously, it's the entire time. And so then we cut back outside where the wind is whistling, and these baddies are starting to work their way through, and they fire an arrow, and Lezoom says, incoming, but then he catches the arrow and he throws it right back. That's an immediate
Also,
headshot.
Tally's kind of terrible. That's like death number 2 avoided.
Yeah, seriously, genuinely, yes. And so this guy, by the way, why was he ever worried? Because what he goes on to do here is insane. First of all, the druid, the orc, takes with 2 swoops of his staff, takes out 6 of these guys who were supposed to be a big threat a minute ago.
Effortlessly.
We were supposed to be scared for their safety.
Sorry.
No, we were supposed to be scared for the safety of the protagonists here, and then without any, as you said, effortlessly as fuck, just whoosh, throws 3 of them 100 feet in the air that way, and whoosh, throws 3 of them the other way. Yep, without any kind of grunt even. And she says, Tally,
also, why
we need
is
fire.
telekinetic staff one of their powers? I mean, I guess it's implied it's the wind, but that's not a druid thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're just full on airbenders, I guess. So again, the music is implying that we should be worried for the characters still outside as we cut back into the room and we're looking past the kid, and we're just in front of the kid is Oriole, who's got his nose right up to him.
TVMA. Oh,
he's got this
I
low
forgot to
growl.
mention this side. So when they enter the room, like in this kid who's panicking and terrified when he sees the dragon's first response is to put him within eating range and go, calm down.
Right up to his face. But
hey, relax. I'm not going to eat you, but if I wanted to, I could right now.
Well, and right here, this is weird because the inner voice, as Oriole is getting closer to his face, again, just like one lick away from being, just consuming this kid, the inner voice goes, they don't know what they're doing, which is so
He's
weird.
right.
No, you're absolutely right. But again, we've toyed with the idea of like, okay, well, did the dragon cult And there's no way that the writers intended for this because they don't show this at all. And this is us just
okay, so in the world where this episode makes sense, what, and this is doing writing for the fucking writers here because they didn't display any of this.
Exactly.
It would seem like it was a trap from the Dragon Cult. They knew that these people would bring the kid to Oriole to do this and thus rebirth Tiamat, right? So that's the Dragon Cult's goal. That's what they were supposed to be stopping. By the way, this ends on a failure, spoiler alert. But fucking my point is that makes proves that the army that they're fighting outside is unrelated. Because the Dragon Cult wants exactly what's happening to happen right now if that's what's going on. And they specifically stated they're trying to bring back Tiamat. Or sacrificing him to Tiamat or whatever. Right? So that just means that it only supports they're just getting in the way of that. This has nothing to do with anything. A random fucking lich was just like, oh, hey, check out these assholes.
And narratively, that's literally best case scenario for these writers. If it was some kind of brilliant trap. Exactly. That's just us writing fan fiction.
I thought it was the Dragon Cult after the first watch through too, because that's all that got mentioned right now. It's but then it's you pay attention. It's an army of undead guided by a Lich King that has nothing to fucking do with anything.
It's random baddies.
Also, not iconography from fucking D&D. You got a Bakken and a Lich that's now a Frost Lich for some reason. That's not their power set. They're necromancers that are also undead.
So Tally, who's wanted to burn things this entire time, is starting to get her fireballs going in her hand, and they're like, Tally, there are too many. No, why would that be a problem? But whatever. The Frost Lich lands in front of her, and
also
she goes
wrong.
Right. She tries to light her fires, but that gets put out when the Frost Lich lands, and then we cut back to the inside where ominous music is playing as the runes are starting to sort of smoke off of this kid's skin.
Use the correct verbiage. What is the dragon doing?
The dragon is sucking the kid, sucking these off.
He is sucking you hear a vacuum noise.
As he's sucking all of this curse into himself, I guess. It's going into his eyes.
This is the good shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, oh yeah. You smell like innocence. So, Tally is knocked over on the ground, and she's trying to get her fire, her little fireballs going. And then we cut to the monk, who is fucking shit up. He takes out one,
he just
two,
takes out 9 people really fast, just effort. Yep. It's a 5-second sequence where he kills.
There's 4. In 4 strikes, he has taken out 5 of them. Then the orc, there's another one. Then the orc is over there. And again, at no point did they seem like they're struggling against these people. He doesn't look tired. He's just tearing through them. Tally's the only one mildly struggling. And she tries to cast a fireball at the Frost Lich. And the Frost Lich is like, nope. And I guess in this world, apparently Frost
also not a thing,
flame is weak to...
There's no D&D ability, magic, cancel snap.
Right, yeah.
Specifically the most annoying thing you could do in that situation, too. He spent years developing it. I'm not just going to cast a dispel. I'm going to be a dick about it.
Nope. I'm going to have some attitude. That's funny.
Every time I counter someone in magic, I'm going to do that now.
Nope. Yeah, all right. Frost Lich style. So then Lazum, the monk, sees that he is struggling. And sees that Tally is struggling and tries to run over there, but is cut off by the Batkin, the giant bat creature. And then we cut back
has been
into
just been hanging
the temple.
Out up to this point. It decided now. He's like, hey, 1v1, bro. Not cool.
Yeah, stay back, man. Not exactly 1v1, bro. Not cool. So we cut back and we see the curse being...
who could have solved all these problems at any time, continue to solve all of the problems.
Yep, exactly. We cut back to see the curse getting sucked off this kid. Then we cut back outside to see the Batkin being very, very scary. However, it jumps at the druid dwarf, and then he turns around and goes boom, and immediately one-shots this giant creature, who falls off the bridge and is presumably dead. So
it can fly. And it didn't look particularly incapacitated. It kind of slips off the bridge. It kind of just one of these numbers.
It's a concussive blast at best.
It looks like it has plenty of room to be like, right.
Right. So then the druid, who presumably is the one that does this, sees that Talia's in trouble, and with all of the effort of anything they've done so far, pretty much snaps his fingers, and the Frost Lich, the big baddie, turns into a snail.
Which again, you you would never be able to do that to a fucking like a magic character. That's like a boss tier character. His will save would have been insane. Like he would it wouldn't have even been like one. It's not really a thing that you can do where it's like there's certain things that are just straight up immune to that. Like again, you can do it to like skeletons and slimes and basic bitch creatures, but even at high levels, you're not just gonna walk up to a fucking mage, a frost lich, and be like, eh.
Right, especially after you've been fighting all these other enemies, which were supposed to be scary that you were running from, but now have absolutely nothing to fear.
It's the big bad, and you can't get more like anticlimactic than just well, it's fucking a snail now. Like there's no dramatic fight, there's no besting into combat or outwitting it or using more powerful It's literally just like a complete no. It's like, how do we solve this problem? I don't know. It's a snail now.
Yeah, act of God. Just Deus Ex Machina this thing right into a snail. So then Tally goes, finally.
This part I have like one of the largest problems with. Because it's Fireball is a notorious D&D spell. It is a meme. Because like if you're not far away enough when your mage casts Fireball, you're going to get fucked up because the AoE is huge. And it's a trope of D&D where mages will kill their party because they're like, oh, I'll cast Fireball. And you're like in a small room. And you would think
this would be a perfect time.
Right, it's an easy win. It's an easy home run. You've been setting up her fight. When the first time I watched this, what I expected to see was for her to summon a giant fireball and fucking launch it into a glorious explosion that rocks the bridge and the whole ass temple. And then like you could even have the payoff where Mora inside's like, Tally, you know? But instead you get a fucking flamethrower.
Yep, Lazum yells, fire now, as we cut back to see the kid getting lifted up as the curse is going into Oriel. And then Tally has this smile on her face, which is so uncanny valley, because they use some kind of mocap.
Here comes the payoff you've all been waiting for, guys.
Yeah, literally, she says, finally. And then she snaps her little fingers and creates a massive plume of fire, which extends for the entire length of the bridge, immediately charring all the bad guys. Right. At any point, what were they ever worried about? Why were they running in the fucking first place?
That's what he said to stop her. Right? Is that don't Tally. There's too many of them.
He literally said that exactly. Tally, no, there's too many of them.
He barbecued the whole bridge.
In one shot,
I'm so sorry.
no
There's
problem.
a delay. I keep interrupting you.
Oh, you're fine, dude. Don't worry about it. And literally no AoE, like you said, no area of effect that might damage your party. Just a perfect pillar of flame down the center of this sword bridge that chars every single one of the bad guys.
It is so accurate that it doesn't even extend past the edges of the bridge.
No, you're exactly right. It follows the contours of the blade perfectly. So apparently she's a god. And
but why were
so
they so nervous? She could just surge in her ass a fucking flamethrower. Like none of this makes sense.
Nope, they could one-shot the giant Batgon, and I think they realized that they'd painted themselves into, the writers realized they'd painted themselves into a corner and were like, all right, time for some badass fight stuff. And didn't
Why not just turn the back end into a snail while the witch is fucking riding it and he falls to his death? Like, solves two problems at once.
Why wait? Why wait at all?
Dramatic
effect.
Then,
exactly. So we cut back to the inside of the temple, and Solone is up in the air being sucked by the dragon. The dragon is sucking all the curse. He's sucking him dry, sucking that curse right off of him.
Oh, num, gets it right up.
So the mournful music is playing, and Mora says,
"Is it? It was."
Mora says to the kid, Solone, say something. And the kid's runes start to peel off of his skin, and they disappear. And we see a sort of look of relief wash over his face, and he just says, quiet. And then looks at Mora and gives her a big ol' hug. Because, they're friends. Remember how she gave him that lecture about how she was a fucking murderer?
Yeah, and a piece of shit. Like, I'm a huge piece of shit, and every day I try not to be, but I know I'm not great at that. But you're possessed, so we got everything in common, guy. You just gotta stop. You gotta try. You gotta try not to.
Right.
Again, like the whole speech was like I have to make an effort to not be evil, so you should do the same thing, even though it's not even close to the same
Right,
deal.
even though
And
you're...
he constantly gets praised for his fucking kindness at that.
Right, you're cursed and I'm just kind of bad, but, like, that's the same thing. It's the classic, like, substitute teacher flipping his chair around and being like, look, guys, I get it. School, right?
Or someone without depression just being like, hey, man, just stop being depressed.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yo, you just mean, like you're sad?
I make an effort to be happy. You should, too.
Right, oh, you're just tired, dude. Exactly.
Like,
look, we all have
thanks.
it. I think everyone has depression and anxiety. It's just some of us know how to deal with it. That is the classic fucking idiot's idiom.
That's the fucktard standpoint.
100%. So, anyway, we look at Oriole, who's now standing gloriously, honestly looking fantastic, but then he starts coughing. And
I'm bad at my job.
Right.
Oh, this is a huge oversight.
He seriously did.
Oh, man.
Pain roar, and he goes, whatever this is, it's loud. He says, unpleasant.
Why was I so confident? Ah.
Right. And then he says, you carried this in you for years, which, all right, I guess. Impressive. And keeps coughing. And then he screams out, and his head whips back, and he's like, ah. You can tell he's in a lot of pain.
He calls a black ichor.
Yes. And the inner voice is now in his head, and he says, every dragon is a gateway. ...
I guess that's a thing now.
And Oriole says, I can't hold it in. Really yells, run, run. And this is like their god, right? Like they serve this Oriole guy.
Or just like whatever, like their pope or whatever is.
Sure.
Like clearly this is like the big dude who probably put them on the quest in the fucking first place.
Right. He yells run. They stand there, and then luckily enough, the doorway is blocked off when he slams against the wall, and the rocks fall into the doorway. Nowhere else, but they cover up the doorway, blocking.
Is the rest
exit.
of the party inside at this point?
Yes. At some point they wandered in. Literally, I don't think we ever saw that happen. I just think that we made.
I don't remember the exit being blocked off. I thought they chose to stay, so that's my mistake.
No, yeah, same. Honestly, it's he does when he's like, I can't hold it in. He falls against the wall, and then as he says run, they do a quick cut over the shoulder as Mora looks back, and their rocks fall back there. So fair enough. That's credit where it's due. So then he continues to freak out. Oh no! Oh god! I made a fucking mistake. As his skin starts.
Why was I so confident that this wouldn't be a problem? Like,
I'll consume.
I've clearly been doing like a long time. Why didn't I identify this?
Hey, what?
Oh man, we have a guy for that shit.
Right, he was big dicking so hard leading into this. I'll take whatever's in you and consume it.
You're safe here. I can handle it. No big deal.
Curses fear me. Well, now his skin is turning iridescent, and his belly is getting bloated, and he's flopping, and he falls back against his own little shrine as his skin entirely changes to this iridescence, and he falls back seemingly...
It's my canon that he was just stoked to die. He's like, I've been stuck in this fucking room for 1,000 years.
You know how fucking bored I am.
I know, there's no books in here, and they're too small.
I keep telling you to bring me something to read.
And make it gigantic because I can't read small text. I can't read human books, damn it! You keep bringing me books.
Right, make sure it's
your size.
Make sure it's on the nose, because clearly I have a hard time reading between the lines. So then his stomach starts to split as claws pop out of it. And this is another one of my world building little hang-ups. I'm just gonna touch on it. What's coming out of him has literally 4 times the body mass of what's inside him. Like, why?
Well, I'll say this. I missed the gateway line. Saying every dragon's a gateway makes that make a little more sense, at least.
Okay.
Because he's, like, saying, like, through that it's coming through versus, like, metamorphosing. But the way they animated it looks like he's turning into it.
Yeah, it, like, rips out of him. Again, this is one of those, like,
But I agree with you that it's like it's kind of just a goofy thing because the whole gateway thing never even. And also, Tiamat's a girl. Why the fuck was the voice generic male demon?
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah. So anyway, this again, you just have to chalk it up to magic, I guess. Whatever, biomass, whatever. Magic,
Right.
magic.
I mean, it's a valid complaint. What emerges from this dragon is roughly 5 times the size of their original dragon.
Genuinely.
Gateway or not.
Right, thank you.
Gateway is a semantical argument here. It's like, we don't know what he means by that.
Yeah, but like I mean, to your credit, or to your point, at least to their credit and your point, at least they addressed it with the every dragon is a gateway. So then
a little bit, yeah.
They rip, this terrifying beast who turns out to be Tiamat, apparently, with 5 giant heads, pops out.
They got one thing right.
Right. And I can't help but, especially on this last watch through, this kid just kept being like, dog, we really, you should just leave me alone.
They failed. They failed. Their quest was to stop the dragon cult. They brought Tiamat right to their god,
right.
Let him suck him off, and then get birthed right out from his tum into physical existence.
Yep.
If they literally failed, they couldn't have fucked up anymore. They couldn't have fucked like as far as I'm concerned, the Lich were the good guys. They were trying to stop this shit from happening.
That's a good point. Seriously.
Like this incompetent retard party fucking did the dragon cults up there drink the whole time. They've been drinking the Kool-Aid. I can't believe they fucking did it. I can't believe they did it.
Right. Well, and maybe they could have ended this on a tragic note, and this could have just been a tragedy story that they were trying to. This is the folly of hubris.
There should have been a moment of realization. One of them should have said, "Oh my God, we delivered
up so bad,
right,
dude."
Something to the effect of the realization of we're responsible for this. Besides just being kind of stoked.
Yep. No, seriously, because Tally says that's a whole lot of dragon. Because she has attitude, and then the druid is like, Tiamat. That way we know.
Yeah, he knows who this is, apparently.
Right.
And if he did, he should be shitting right now.
Yep. And then it blows frost and fire and lightning all at the exact same time at him. But guess what? The kid creates a force field, and
He min-maxed barrier. The kid put all of his level up points into one thing.
Right. Well, but not only that, we've seen them with a ward before. It's the same color. It's the same generic golden magic color, but I guess this one is for dragon stuff. The other one is just for a nightlight. The other one is just to keep
even
the
rolling a
out.
perfect 20, you're not stopping that attack.
It looks like the ultimate god dragon attack. Seriously,
it is. It's literally a dragon god. It's there's 2 of them. Her brother is Bahamut, who's the good equivalent, and your best bet if you're actually playing D&D would be to try to fucking evade it. Because you're not blocking that attack.
Well, not without...
level 100. Level 100, you would need a fucking 20.
Well, you're forgetting he has the random metal hand from that chick's shield.
Is that magical? Or is he just
Literally, they have a cut right now where, after they show the bubble that he creates for them, he's clutching this glove, this, hand, this metal hand from her shield to his chest. There's 0 glow. There's nothing that shows us, other than maybe it, makes him believe in himself or something.
Is it a talisman? Does she need that to cast? It just seems like a detachable shield ornament.
It gave her courage or whatever. It helps her remember not to kill.
It reminds her to be less of a piece of shit.
Right, yeah, exactly. This just reminds me to not, kill innocent people, and I need that. But you have it for a while, because it'll help you protect us from a god. And so... oh, God, this is one of the most disturbing lines in the whole thing. She says, Tally goes, well, guess we found our cleric. Okay, that is so glib. It is so off-tone right now. You guys just fucking killed your own Dragon King.
You should be planning your next series of moves. And it's not we've got this. You should be we have one shot at winning this, and everybody has to do this thing at once.
She's not...
But of course they're confident. The druid's probably just going to turn him into a fucking snail.
Right. She's literally not even looking at the giant beast monster. She's taken the time to look at him and go, it looks like we found our cleric. It's there's none of this. The tone is so off. None of what they're doing makes any sense.
You are trapped with the dragon god. Like it said, it should have been grim resolve. It should have been, we're gonna try and fight,
Right.
but this is a fucking god. We have no way to get out of this room.
Yep.
And odds are we are going to fucking die. But because this thing is like evil incarnate and insanely powerful, we gotta at least try to not just let him walk through here.
So check this out. I thought that it made more sense that the entrance was blocked off, but looking at it this way, they couldn't have left earlier. So when the entrance wasn't blocked off, it was closer to heroic resolve. No, like, this is our Dragon King. We're going to stay here and watch this. And not only that, the kid goes, go. And they're like, no, man, you don't have to fight this alone. Okay, he goes, go. I've been fighting her my whole life. I can hold her back.
No, you have not.
Right, well, the kid says, I can hold her back on my own. And then Mora says, I believe you could. ...
Why?
But
it's a god!
she says, I believe you could, but you're not on your own. Which would be a very powerful and cool line, except that they can't leave. The door is blocked. This isn't them being heroic. It's not them being like, no, man, we're going to choose to stay here and fight with you. There is no escape. There's no exit. So it's like they're not making a heroic choice here. They're just like, look, kid, like the writers are trying to play this like it's some kind of awesome epic moment where they're a team now, but literally they have no other choice but to fight this giant dragon. It's like you said, why would you believe this kid could hold off this dragon god? Moreover, like, what do you think you're going to be able to do against it? But they don't have a choice. They're literally
he doesn't even appear to be struggling.
No.
Like, if anything, you should see him like go down to knees, sweating profusely. Like this is the hardest thing he's ever had to do, and it's taking all of his focus and determination to actually keep this barrier up. Because this is one of the strongest. It's not just one. Like, one of those attacks is one of the strongest attacks in the game. One of those heads firing that is one of the strongest things you can tank. Yep. All 5 of them are that strong.
At the exact same time. And again, not once in this entire episode have we seen them sweat or panting out of breath. There was literally that one time where it said strained breathing or labored breathing when she had the dagger piercing her entire torso, and then she fixed it immediately. That's the one time we've seen any of them struggle other than the kid hallucinating. And so he's blocking, and they all make a sweet, epic line. And the kid has a look in his eyes of determination. And then they line up, and they all
They do the cliche hero pose.
Oh,
they
exactly.
Go full Avengers for a second.
Literally, they go down the line, and each of them does an epic pose. And we're about to watch the coolest...
Not a look of fear or concern on any of their fucking... Like again, they seem stoked. They seem pretty... Like, if anything, they should be upset that they killed their god by being so fucking stupid.
Tally's literally smiling. It's like, okay, and then we cut to the back where we see, this line of fire in front of them and some of Tiamat in front of them, and Tiamat lunges at them, and we cut to fucking credits.
I just, I can't even get words out. It's right. Like, why would you choose this as your first one? When you're going for an anthology about video games, D&D's, the first thing that comes to mind is the tabletop RPG. This is specifically said for video games. It's called Secret Level, a video game trope.
Yep.
Like, you can make the argument there's been D&D games, but that was honestly a DOS-era thing. There really hasn't been a modern D&D game.
Right, and even if you were trying to go off of, say, like, Baldur's Gate or whatever, it doesn't...
Which is, it's like the visual representation of it. It's not the iconography and, like, literal licensing of that brand of Dungeons & Dragons.
Right.
And it's not like there isn't stuff. This isn't a world of complete imagination. There are monster guidebooks. There's all these maps where you get the picture, you get the lore, you get their stats. Yep. Like, it's not like there's no, like, everything's solely imagination. You're given a fucking... game board and just good luck. Well, there is like distinct design
and like 60 years worth of lore, right? Like, wasn't it the first Dungeons and Dragons out in like the 60s? Like,
so 70s.
70s. So 50 years.
I could be, I could be wrong, but that's something we should have looked up. But yeah, it is. Point being is it's painfully old, and it's had pictures and lore since then. The only thing they did right was Tiamat, which has existed in a few different pantheons of D&D. But it's like you get like campaign D&D like Dungeon Master toolkits where it's like this is the Tiamat campaign. Here's guidelines and like narrative story points that you can like it doesn't like write it for you, but it's like here's a bunch of shit in this world that you can lead up to this big boss. Here's like some events you can do, kind of stuff. Point being is those books have motherfucking pictures.
Right.
The spells have motherfucking again fireball, magic missile, ray of frost. Show them summoning spiders and shit. Anything that's like actually from D&D that someone that's played the game will be like, oh fuck yeah, that's a level 15 sorcery. I love that spell.
Right.
Instead, you literally picked random magical bullshit. This could have been called anything. This could have been called Party Adventurers, Fantasyland, Dungeon Time. Even though they never hit a fucking dungeon or a tavern or anything, they don't have a fucking bard. Like if you're gonna be so on the nose and cliche, put the horny bard in.
Right, exactly. Any familiar trope that even someone like me, I know next to nothing about. I've spent a lot of time developing a TTRPG of my own with a team, but I'm not familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, only vaguely. And even then, I know the memes. I know the horny bard. I know the Eldritch Blast. The tavern,
the
exactly.
Mimic. Even you probably even knew about the fireball meme, where it's like mages will cast that just because it's an insanely powerful spell, but they don't check where their party's at before they do it. And DMs are pricks. Once you say I cast fireball, regardless of the fact that the party's going to be like, no, they're
right.
like, dude,
you said it. Roll. Yep, exactly.
Fucking A.
So anyway,
if I'm DMing and you put that shit out, I'm making you carry through, even if it kills all of you. I don't give a fuck. You did.
Right.
Let that be a lesson to the time when you re-roll your characters. That you need to chat. You just tell them you're not putting in a fucking mage this time.
Well, and at least that would have demonstrated some fragility. If someone would have gotten hurt or even had been scared of getting hurt, it would have been like, oh, okay, they do have some fear beyond there are too many of them. Don't cast your god fire spell, which is clearly more powerful than Tiamat's fire blast herself.
Again, what do you mean there's too many? That's the exact reason to do it.
They're clustered
together. Limit? She can only burn 20 people at a time? if you're in the fire, once she hits that number, it's like, oh, whoa, no, sorry guys, I don't fire, but...
A finite amount of people that can be burned. Hilarious.
And again, the transmog spell pisses me the fuck off, too. Because it's you would never, it's not, that is not a thing that you can do to enemies like that. Right. That's imagine if you're in a fucking tabletop RPG, your big bad shows up, and one of your party can just be like,
nope, boop.
You're a snail.
Yep. No, it's literally part of the thing that we have to design against is okay, cool, this thing is good and powerful, but what happens when an elite shows up? When this thing that's at the top of as you said, your big bad. It's okay, but should they be able to cast this against the boss? Should they be able to
one-shot him?
Right, the Frost Lich without any kind of resistance at all, just turn it into a snail, game's over. It's the classic Office line, and just like that, seconds later, the game is over.
Or it's have a 20 flash up on the screen or something next to her, just suddenly, just a reference rolling up nat 20, and maybe that supercharged the spell, and that's the only circumstance that would have worked on. But it just seems like old hat, just oh.
Yep. Dude, I would have loved that. Honestly, that'd be a great way for them to at least give some kind of nod to the fact that they're telling a Dungeons and Dragons story, and it's kind of hokey. But have a roll, have a 20 pop up, have a 60, and when they fucks up,
at least that would fucking scream D&D to me.
Exactly. Have them mess one thing ever up, and then have that be your one moment.
The critical fail.
Right.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to go so on the nose as to have it pop up on screen, at least make them fail something, because this is a dice-based game. It's chance-based.
They failed their mission. They failed the world. We watched the worst party of all time get put, based on the synapse. They were hunting down the fucking dragon cult to presumably stop them from doing this, and instead the dragon cult left their little ticking time bomb, their worst members around. Oh, guys, you're escorting him to B site. You're going to be fine. And then they all get slaughtered effortlessly, just like they wanted. They take the fucking kid to the dragon god, who must be some kind of problem for them. and then like literally use him to birth the god that was their goal in the first place. It is entirely their fault. It is entirely their fault.
Right. You've heard of failing up. These people have succeeded down. Like they
And
they
again,
had,
if anything, the Lich is the fucking hero of the story because he was the only one trying to stop this from happening.
seriously. And that's the only takeaway, which is not supposed to be what we take away. I am almost certain. So anyway,
All right, let's just do the final, like the tally, like this. This is like I think I have to. I think I have to give this a 1. Like it's just like because the story is actively working against. It's not even like bad as just because like it's like the story is actively working against itself. It's like all you did was watch a party that has no discernible traits. I can't tell you a single fucking thing about the druid or the gnome. I have no or not gnome, the dwarf. Like I don't know fucking anything about them.
nope.
Like all I know is that the paladin's a piece of shit who is like insanely insensitive. Of like the kid's an idiot, and you've got a gnome that's like pathological about fire, and that's it.
Yep, that's genuinely it. That's you know what I'm gonna have to. Even with the cool animation, I just like you said, the story's working against itself the entire time. I'm gonna agree with that. We got to set this at the lowest. This is our standard. It's weird to start off.
It's even I'll say this. It's even getting a harsher number because it's the first one. Why would you start with this one?
Yes,
like
fair.
Objectively, this is not a banger. It's not a good mission statement for your show. It's not even directly recognized like a video game franchise. No one thinks of video games when you say Dungeons and Dragons. They think of Dungeons and fucking Dragons.
Seriously, dude. Yep. No, and the thing is any fans that you attracted using the title Dungeons and Dragons are going to be put off like we are by the fact that it has nothing to do with their titular, with their titular progenitor. There's like this isn't Dungeons and Dragons. It's just generic fantasy and a poorly told short story.
They don't interact like a bunch of friends play. Like anytime you're writing something like this, and you are like, you should have the perspective that these characters are being wielded by a bunch of friends, fucking interacting through their characters with each other. It's
right.
just like, think of the fucking Harmon Quest episode. Or not Quest, like the end of OG Harmontown when they were playing Pathfinder. And shit would happen where like Jeff's like, I fucked the horse. And Aaron's like, he can't do that, can he, Spencer? And you just hear a fucking dice hit the table. And he's like, oh yeah, he fucks that horse.
That happens.
But like, that's my point, is it's like, even if you don't want to go silly with it, you should still have shit where it's like you can tell that they're like friends and like they know each other, and it's not just like, I would assume that this party like doesn't know each other very well. The only thing you get is that they all know Tally is a little fire happy, but that could have been established 5 minutes before they got there.
Right. Yeah, not only that, but they never established why that's a problem. In fact, had she done it earlier, they might have saved, I don't know, whatever. There's just so
You
much.
never see any camaraderie either. It goes from argument to they're here to fight.
Yep.
Like you never, like the only indication that you give a fuck is that every character tries to stop Tally from dying except the paladin. Because the kid does it, the gnome does it, and then finally the fucking druid solves the goddamn problem like they could have from the start.
It's I gotta go with you. It's a 1 on this one. It's gonna be enough for me, dog.
I would probably give it a 2 or 3 if it was later in the lineup of episodes. But to have this be your fucking premiere episode, it is an insane oversight. It shows a complete lack of perspective and objectivity. Because the second you rewatch all these episodes when they were finally done and polished, the first thing you should have said is, we need to put this somewhere in the middle where it's not going to stand out.
Right. Yep. It's filler. And as you said, as filler, it would be a 2 or a 3. This is not the first track on the album, man. This is not it. This is fucking not it.
This is something that should have been cut, but you had a quota.
Yeah, seriously. And this is a Tim Miller
I never want to
joint.
see it again.
No.
I measure these short stories partly off of like if they're pilots. Like, and if you told me they were getting a show, I would actively not watch it and tell other people not to fucking see it. I would tell other people, skip this episode of Secret Level because it's going to make you think the rest of it's not good. And there is good in here. There are good episodes. There's people that use their time wisely and purposely. Yep. But none of that happened here. They don't even understand the fucking medium they're working in.
Nope. And again, this is a Tim Miller joint, executive produced and I believe co-written by Tim Miller.
Who did write this one?
Let
me pull it up real quick.
Okay, for sure.
We need to start keeping fucking track of that.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Because this guy also wrote another bad episode.
Yep.
I believe.
I believe you are correct.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up now.
Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. All right, my camera's going to dip for a second.
No worries.
Okay. So, Katie Davila, or however you say that, Davila, and Levin Mineske, however you say their names, but I am just inclined to believe that some fucking high school had some like talent contest, like write in or pull a raffle and get to write an episode of fucking Secret Level, because every mistake in here speaks of someone who has no writing experience. This literally seems like an unlearned, untrained, and like again, they literally start with like the fucking most basic bitch idea of any story, which is save the cat. And they show up, and the very first scene is them saving that fucking kid. It's like, oh, these are good people, and you better do that because you don't have any character traits. You don't have any like beyond that action. We have no idea that these people are even good.
Yep. Nope, that's absolutely true. And without the description, we have no idea what they're even doing in those woods. Anyway, we've let this one go a little long. This has been Fresh Eyes Fast Talk. I'm Critical Eeks. You can find me at YouTube at Critical EEKS Eeks. This is Valedore. Where can they find you, buddy?
Fucking to Twitch at twitch.tv/delphicvaledore.
Twitch.tv/delphic with a PH Valedore. VALEDORE.
Links in the description.
Links in the description. We've been Fresh Eyes Fast Talk. Motherfucker. We'll see you in the next one, gang.